was afraid to ask those questions in those group chats before, even in other teams that I was with, because I thought, there'd be a stupid question or something that would affect me. But there's no such thing as a stupid question. As long as you ask that question and you get that answer you need and you learn from it, that's how you'll become a better trader.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Expert Trader podcast series. This is your host, ChartAddicts. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to have a conversation with one of our students. Paul Biani is one of our students that has shown an exceptional amount of promise. He's extremely mature in his understanding, and he's very articulate in the way that he understands his performance. So we wanted to make sure that we got him on and ask him a few questions and pick his brain. Thanks for getting on with us, my man.
What's up? Thank you for having me, and thank you for the time today, man. I'm really excited to be here.
Really great to have you, man. I know we talk to each other every single day. So,
Sure.
as traders, we have a pretty good relationship, but I really wanted to get you out here to talk to some of the developing traders out there about mentorship versus doing this alone. Maybe somebody's in the journey and they just don't know where they're stuck. And hopefully this conversation can help give them some direction.
For sure. I'm definitely, happy to be here, happy to share some knowledge, share some of my experiences. The journey's only continuing. So let's get it. I'm excited.
Awesome. Let's get to it. So, Paul, can you tell everyone how long you've been trading, just for reference?
Sure. Of course, yes. I've been trading technically over a year and a half, but overall, I would say 2 years. But I only say a year and a half because I would say that's when I've really started becoming a responsible trader. It's been 2 years in the trading game, and I've made some mistakes here and there. And I would say at first I wasn't an official responsible trader, but now with this year and a half experience, I would say it's been almost, a good year and a half. So for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, the amount of growth that you've shown in just like the past 6 months, this is really why we wanted to make sure that we had you on the podcast today. How much of that trading journey that you just mentioned was spent with ChartAddicts?
I would say 8 months with ChartAddicts, if I'm not mistaken. So I joined a little bit at the end of last year, 2019. And, ever since then, those 8 months, it's been amazing. It's been a wild ride. For
sure. What do you feel like your experience was before you started getting mentorship?
First of all, that's a great question, because honestly, the experience before the mentorship, I would say was very chaotic. I would say it was very all over the place, and it was definitely a needed learning experience, because it was kind of like when you first throw yourself out there in a new sport or a new venture, something that you really like, but you just don't know much about, or you don't have that skill set at the moment. And, it's just an experience I think every person has to go through, because you can really learn about yourself and also learn a lot from those mistakes. So before my mentorship, I would say my experience was really learning about how to use risk management, how to really take trades, and the psychological factor. And those are things I'm growing in these categories. But in that experience back then, even Roy, you know this when you first joined the game, there's a lot of things that are thrown at you that as a trader, you're like, what do I do? How do I handle these emotions? How do I win or lose a trade? How do I continue? So it was really a really great experience, but I would say now I'm on the right track.
How do you feel like your performance has changed since you joined a mentorship program?
Oh man, my performance has literally changed tenfold, I would say. If I looked myself in the mirror back then and now, complete different trader, I would say. So that's definitely one thing I want to mention. So the coaching, since starting the coaching and being with you guys, and that experience has really piqued my performance and pushed it to another level. So
this is a little off script, but I'm kind of curious, since you mentioned it, what do you think is contributing to your performance? So you said that you've seen your performance has gotten better.
Right.
What do you think specifically about getting mentorship, or about being with Chart, or about being with a community that is helping you to improve your performance?
I think that's a great question. Honestly, I would say one of the biggest factors that's changed my performance and why I've gotten better is being surrounded with like-minded people and a like-minded community that is focusing on the best aspects of trading and the right aspects of trading. Because I would say before my experience, I was focusing on the right things, but also the wrong things. And, when you jumble all of that, you're not going to be always headed to the right direction. So I would say with the coaching and my personal experience with you guys is you have kept me on the right track, kept my focus on the right track, try to make me avoid things that you have learned in the past not to do, or maybe, to avoid. But also, again, being surrounded by this kind of community, the team that I'm with, it's the confidence level that's really raised everything. I'm with really successful traders, really good traders, and traders that have a really deep knowledge in the game. And all of that combined, I would say, has piqued my performance as well as given me more confidence.
That's really important what you're saying. So you were focusing on some of the right stuff before,
Yep.
but there was still a lot of conflicting information there. And
Yeah,
that's kind of where a lot of traders tend to get stuck. It's going to become
exactly.
really uncomfortable. So I'm really glad that you really gained that value. So Paul, what do you feel like you've gained most from coaching?
I would say what I've gained most from coaching is, other than, I would say, focusing on the right risk management, and also the amount of trades I want to take a week, because every trader is different. The coaching experience that you guys have been giving to the students, and for me especially, I would say from my own opinion, is that it's really helped me with how I want to structure my week and how I want to make sure that I take on that week for trading. So, for example, when it comes to the amount of trades I take that week, instead of me not having a limit, which was more when I was really jumbling things and not, understanding to balance things right. Now I know the amount of trades I want to take, winners or losers, no matter what. I know what my parameters are. And another thing I would say is not being really hesitant to just get on a trade just the moment the market opens. Like on Sundays and Mondays, when I used to just hop on the markets and start trading, I use those days to strategize, to look at the market, see how things play out. And that's one thing I think that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else if it wasn't for the coaching that you guys have given us.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Paul, how do you feel like your priorities have changed since you started having
Uh,
more structure in your trading?
Before, I thought my main priorities were, as long as I'm in the blue, as long as I win a trade, no matter how much my lot size is, how much I've traded or lost that week, or how much, I've over leveraged, whatever. That was my, my priorities. But now, being a member now for over 8 months, and, with the coaching and just kind of the learning growth that I've had here, it's really helped me with my priorities. As I would say, and one of the most important things is when you guys gave us those journals and writing down and logging those trades. I think that was something that really fixed my priorities when it comes to the trading aspect, because I can see how many trades I was taking every week. I can see what I risked and how much I won or lost that. And then those were just really good learning points to go back and look at for the weekend when I'm back testing, or when I really want to, look at the game plan again, kind of looking at film. So that was one thing I put in my priorities, and that really helped me, I would say.
Sure. Yeah, we're always talking about how the priority is not just to make money, because it doesn't really matter. It's,
Of
can you
course,
do it consistently, and can you do it over a long period of time? Because if you can win with the same strategy for 6 months, but you're not easily adaptable and you start to get lazy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, problems are going to come in later on. It's going to hurt your trading. It's going to hurt your trading if you're focused on the money always, or you're focused on the losses always, as opposed to focused on being consistent. So
definitely, definitely,
that's really good. So, Paul, we're about ready to wrap this up. I just really want to clear your brain about some things that have worked and some things that haven't.
of course.
Hopefully, give people a pretty decent idea. I just want to give people a better idea of ChartAddicts. So, what is your favorite product of ChartAddicts?
Okay, so I don't want to sound biased. I'm a member for sure, but
Paul
I'm
is
not getting
not a
paid
paid
for this.
representative.
This is not a paid promotion, but this is straight from the source. But no, but I would say that's a great question, Ryan. There's a lot of different unique products and services that you guys have offered, and going back to the mentorship and coaching aspect of the services, the emphasis that you guys put and the time you put with each student when it comes to the one-on-one mentorship, the calls every night, and just kind of going over what the weaknesses and strengths are of each student. I would say that time and effort you guys put is unmatched, and that's why it's so unique. Not every trader is going to learn the same way. And even if you have 20 traders on a call, 50 traders on a call, and you show them exactly what you think is going to play out this week and what you should improve on, not everyone's going to get it. But those one-on-one calls and the coaching and mentorship, I think it's tailored specifically for each trader differently. And that's where you guys have really peaked that game. And you guys just look at, this is what you should be doing better. This is what you're doing right. That will only excel your growth. So I would say that is one thing very key to your services that you guys offer, for
All
sure.
right, guys, I repeat, this is not a paid promotion.
This is not a paid promotion.
All right. Seriously, Paul, thanks for getting on. I know that you're busy and you're doing a lot today, but I really appreciate you getting on with us. Last question I wanted to ask you. And
Yes.
so this podcast is more centered towards a developing trader. And so it
Mm-hmm.
always begs the question, should a trader try to learn this skill themselves, or should they go and seek mentorship from the jump? What is your opinion from somebody who's done both, and what do you think?
Mm-hmm. That's another great question as well. Just dropping some heaters, by the way, guys. These questions, you don't hear them anywhere else. That's the first thing I gotta say.
It's all in the prep, man. It's all in the prep. But
So here's the thing. I would say, in my opinion, every trader should do a little bit of both, because there's good things about both, definitely. And there's learning aspects about both. When you try to learn yourself, self-knowledgeable and teaching yourself is such a valuable trait to have, especially in the trading game, because no one will learn more from themselves other than your own mistakes and learning from what you've done. I would say a little bit of both, in my opinion, is the perfect balance, because that's how you really see both sides and you'll grow as a trader. So, the mentorship side has only made me a better trader. Like I said, if I looked in the mirror before when I was just teaching myself, and now, complete different trader. I don't even look the same, man. I think I even look a little better now. But but honestly, I think it's very important to have both sides.
You
Yeah,
guys heard
that's
it.
my
You
two
guys
cents.
heard it here from a developing trader himself, guys. Paul is just like me, just like everybody else. He's very hardworking. He's dedicated to learning the skill. And because of his dedication, he's always asking questions. He's curious constantly. And he's always trying to reach out and be like, hey, why did this not play out? Why did this play out? How can I improve my strategy with this? He's constantly
Hmm.
sending markups. And these are the signs of somebody who genuinely wants to succeed in their skill. And that's why we really appreciated you getting on with us, Paul.
That was one thing I was afraid of, is you just mentioned that, but questions. I used to be in different public group chats, or even look at private group chats with trading, or even with teams. And I would be so afraid after a call, or maybe when people are going through questions, to raise my hand and ask that question. I'm not afraid to ask questions anymore, because I know it will benefit me more than anything at the end of the day. I was afraid to ask those questions in those group chats before, even in other teams that I was with, because I thought, there'd be a stupid question or something that would affect me. But there's no such thing as a stupid question. As long as you ask that question and you get that answer you need and you learn from it, that's how you'll become a better trader. I drop the
You
mic.
guys heard it. You guys heard it. All right, Paul, thanks again for getting on. This is the Expert Trader podcast hosted by ChartAddicts. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Happy and safe trading this week. ChartAddicts, peace.